and his country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I thought we should first look at the situation where species is concerned in the whole of Amazonia. So I thought we could look at Bolivia, the Xingu, and of course French Guyana along the coast there. The techniques that is used in cultivating the landscape is not new from Middle America. In the Yucatan, there is of course the archaeological experience in the Middle America is not as exciting as with the pyramids and so on. We are not as exciting as Mexico and Middle America, but there's magnificent things that is happening here for us in Guyana. So maybe we should just look at what is happening in Bolivia and make a comparison to what is happening in Guyana. This is the part of Bolivia that is savanna and the landscape and so on. And this here is what we look for in the landscape if you're doing an aerial survey. We would look at lines like this, or we would look for mounds, and usually we do these surveys when the light is at an angle, so that the light, there's a shadow that is created by any kind of formation in the landscape. Here is examples of round mounds in Bolivia. And these, we believe, in Guyana, we have these as well, we'll see later. We have these occasion forest islands in the savannas where we think that people might have lived in the past, and hence the soil is much more fertile there. I just want to say here that the soil in Amazon is very, very fragile and very infertile, I use that word, and very acid. So when there is an occasion like this in the savanna, of course there's some good reason why vegetation is so dense and so lush. Here's an example again of a village setting already. This is a habitation site, but you can still see discern the circular movement there in the landscape. Here you can see again that there is something happening there. Now we move to the Xingu, that's the river there, where the archaeologist who we invited last year, Mike Heckenberger, because he's had the experience working in the Xingu in a similar setting, we thought he would be the important person to be invited here to look at what we have in Guyana. So he's been working there, and this is an example of what is happening in the Xingu. And this, sometimes I look at that photograph and I think of Santa Mission. For those of us who've been to Santa Mission, there is this, it's a bit flat, but then there's the mainstay area where the what is here and the village just on the edge of the lake. This is a reconstruction of what a village system might be like. Again, for us who've gone around the villages nearby, I would say when I say nearby, maybe 60 to 90 miles inland from the coast are walking villages, and usually there is what we refer to as a plaza, and around the plaza where people live. And sometimes this central area, St. Cuthbert's is like that. It has a central area, a plaza, and people are living around it. This is again the Xingu. Again, from there, you see this unusual formation there, those lines. Could be trails, could be canals, but it appears there in the landscape. Here we go. Tattoos or pimples in the face. But these are round mounds in Guyana, in French Guyana. These are long mounds. Again, we have these occurring in Mid-America. In the Yucatan, you have the round mounds and long mounds appearing. So we have these here again in Guyana. And an area just to show a little map of how this is distributed from the coast, from the mouth of the Amazon, coming back this way. Okay, pre-Columbian race fields in Guyana at Fort Nassau. Fort Nassau, of course, is a Dutch port, and it's about 90 miles upriver or so. And around that area, up from there is the Guyanese River, and on that river is this place called Red Hill, where it's a habitation site. But before we get there, there's Hitchell. On the map, it is shown as Sand Hills. There's a Barry River that is now flooded, but which was surveyed in the early 50s by Meggers and Evans, I think in 52. And so we have, it is important for us to look at that in relationship to the pottery later on. Kanchi River, we have only looked at Kanchi River from the air. We have discerned round mounds in that area on the upper Kanchi River. We have not really done any work in the Kanchi except to do an aerial survey of it. So we're up here in that area. That's the area we're talking about. It's a very, very big area. It's the site extends from, if you know the map, it's from the Turani Canal, which joins the Berbice and the Kanji, coming back to the headwaters of the Kanji River, coming back to the Ibili pasture, across the river to the Aishuna River, and then coming back this way to the Abari. So it's a very, very big area of race field complex. This is what it looks like at Fort Nassau. This very discernible, these dots here, and these were what the retired Brigadier Joe Singh spotted when he brought it to our attention in 1985 at the Walsh Rock Museum. This is what they look like. This is the setting with these palm trees, the clay palm trees for us. We are very familiar with this. Where it appears, there's usually a nice swampy area, and they thrive very well in that kind of environment. Neil was one of our investigators. He's an anthropologist, and he became interested in what I was doing in this area. And he came along with me to Fort Nassau in 1992, and we did an excavation. And he is principally interested in the historical aspect of Berbice. It has a very rich history, and he wanted to go back into try to reconstruct the historical sites in the Berbice, and of course do ethnographic work among the people there. Sadly, Neil passed away this year. I think it was in March this year that he passed away. So now there is a gap in our research where the historical aspect of it. Hopefully we will get somebody to do that, but he's still very open to having somebody who's interested in historical archaeology to come and work with us, so that we can look from way back 5,000 years ago to the present. Again, the mounds, and this is a map of the Kanji. That's the torch there, so you'll probably get a chance to see later in some slides what it looks like without the grass in it. As you can see, the grass is very lush here. Usually, it is very lush around where the mounds are, but not so. It's very, because they're really built on sand and on a sandy soil. Very cool, sandy soil. This is what it looks like from the air. These dots. And And now the forest island that I was telling you about, they appear in these locations. Good example of forest island. It's the landscape between here and the Carnarvon River, 60 miles, 90 miles inland. It's pretty open, and it's a continuous swampy area. Now this is important because it gives you an idea of what the soil looks like once this is removed, and that's literally sand. So these mounds are built on top of the sand for cultivation. This is our example of the long mounds that we've seen from the air. It was very difficult. Unfortunately, we did not take a GPS point from this one when we flew over. But hopefully, you know, we'll come across it one day, and I would really like to investigate this. It's a similar, when the Dutch moved into the Fort Nassau area, they started to make fields in this way. So there are long mounds just outside the Fort Nassau, the old fort site. Some more, you probably will see some over there. That's there. That's there. Happening on the surface. Fortunately, we have the historical record of the expedition done by Benson Evans in '52, and we have the pottery and pottery results and so on from that region, so we can compare with what we might be finding in Dubulay or what we find later. We still have those records, which is good. This, I believe, is recent, but gives you a good example of how a mound will develop after it's been abandoned, it becomes overgrown, and you can see the difference between fertile soil and infertile soil. So it just gives you a good comparison there. Again, I found this might be interesting to show you because the lines of the clay palms gives you an indication where streams might be, and more than likely on the ridge here you probably find mounds, because the idea was to take the fertile soil from the tributaries and to move it onto this infertile sandy area and then cultivate it. Okay, Fort Nassau, we did, as I said, Neil and I did an excavation in '92, and we got to this is the raised fields, these mounds, these round mounds that I'm telling you about, and we got a date of 1,800 years before present. We did last year, we did a similar excavation to mound at Dubulay, and we got this date for the mound at 3,000 before present. Here is my excavation in that's some years ago, '96 maybe, and this is where we got the date from. This is about the Fort Nassau. You can see the open savannas, and then we take on. We go very penetrating that area along the swampy the tributaries and so on. This is a much more decent one, and this is the one we did at Dubulay, back of the Dubulay Ranch, in a place called Kaikuchin. And as I said, the team is over there. We tried about at the base of the mound. You can see the soil. That's very important. It's different soil, and you believe that it will probably sand and or red soil mixed together. From the base, we will take, if we find it, samples of charcoal, and from this we will do radiocarbon dating. From the base of from the charcoal again, we will do a radiocarbon dating, which will give us the date.